Hello everybody, I'm the Nerdy Guy, and today we're going to talk about sexism. Now, why do I want to talk about sexism? Well, there's a lot of people in this world who have no idea what sexism is. Some people overuse that term, and like I said, they don't understand what it means. So, in order to help this, I made a list of five phrases, five phrases that's not sexist, and then I have 5 phrases that are sexist. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one not sexist phrase, and then I'm going to take a sexist phrase. And I'm going to talk a little about them. I'm going to alternate between them. So a total of 10 different phrases. Now, the first not sexist phrase is, I like boobs. Whenever a guy says he likes boobs, then he's often being accused of being sexist. However, saying I like boobs is not something sexist. You could say, boobs are the only good-looking part of a woman. That would be sexist. But simply saying I like boobs is not sexist. You're just stating that you like boobs. Yes, it's a body part that happens to be pretty much only female, but so what? You're not saying anything bad about women. You're not doing anything like that. So like I said, simply saying I like boobs is not sexist. Now, for a sexist term, all men want to rape. There's a YouTube clip, sadly it's in Swedish, and most people won't understand it, but it's like a home full of feminists who live together, like a collective or whatever, and they interview these, and one of them goes, well, of course I don't think every man is a rapist, but I think every man wants to be a rapist. That is one of the most sexist things I've ever heard anybody say. And yes, that is incredibly sexist. You're saying that just because I'm a guy, I want to rape people. Sexist. Now, for a not sexist term again, insulting a woman. That's not really a term, but let's say I call a woman an idiot. That would not make me sexist. If I were to say, you're an idiot, just like every woman, then I would be a sexist. But simply saying, if a woman is being an idiot, then I have every right in my life to tell her she's being an idiot. And it's not sexist to do so, because I'm not judging the entirety of the female gender. I'm not calling all of them idiots. I'm just calling one woman idiot. I mean, I think it was Ann Coulter who accused Bill Maher of being sexist because he talked shit about, what's she called? Sarah Palin, sorry. I jump-cut it a little bit, but I had to sit down and think. Sarah Palin. Bill Maher talked shit about Sarah Palin and Michelle Bachmann. Well, he didn't talk shit, he criticized them. And I think Ann Coulter was the one who called him a sexist for doing it, and he pointed out that no, I'm not calling every woman I'm not criticizing all women, I'm criticizing those two, because they're idiots. So that's a normal, weird assumption that if you insult one woman, then you're automatically a sexist and misogynist, and that's wrong. So, for another sexist term, all men are violent. Trust me, I've seen a lot of violent women. It's a really weird idea that all men are violent, and claiming that all men are violent is sexist, because once again, you're judging all men. Unlike insulting a woman, calling a woman an idiot. When you're saying all men are violent, you're literally talking about all men. That is sexist. Now, for a not sexist term, calling a girl hot. Or just generally saying like, man, that girl looks good. That's not sexist. Man, there's a lot of jump cuts in the video. Sorry, I'm messing up everywhere. If I were to say, only judge women based on their appearance, then I would be sexist. But simply saying, looking at a girl and going, huh, that girl is hot. That would not make me a sexist. Considering the fact that I look at my girlfriend pretty much every time I see her, and I think in my head, man, that girl is good looking. Why is she dating me? So that's another misconception. Calling a girl hot does not make anybody a sexist. And now, for a sexist term. Calling somebody... No, wait, sorry. Got ahead of myself. Sexism. Women are better than men. If you say that, then you're incredibly sexist. This is probably one of the most sexist terms I've seen in this list. Saying that women are better than men. That is the exact idea of sexism. That is just as bad as saying men are better than women. You're no different. You're not better. You're not worse either. You're not better. Next, not sexist, is I'm horny. Not sexist. You're simply stating that you want to have sex. You're not saying that I'm horny, therefore some random woman should just come up here and have sex with me. That would be sexist, if you say that women are only exist to get fucked. But simply saying that you want to fuck somebody, that's not sexist. Now, sexism, calling somebody a cunt, but also calling somebody a dick. A lot of feminists complain whenever somebody uses the word cunt, like, oh, it's demeaning against women, blah, 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 blah. But then they turn around and call somebody a dick. Using the insult cunt is not more sexist than dick. I mean, dick does not mean a stand-up fellow or something. Dick is an insult too. So you can't complain about cunt being used as an insult, and then not care when somebody uses the term dick, and then say you're for equality. Next, not sexist, and this is the last not sexist phrase. I am not a feminist. Usually when you say that you're not a feminist, a lot of feminists will attack you and say, like, oh, if you're not a feminist, then you're a sexist, you're a misogynist, and blah, 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 you're against equality, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not. Because there's a lot of other, like, ideologies that go for equality. For example, egalitarianism. I prefer to call myself an equalist, because it's a lot easier to pronounce than egalitarianism. Equalism. And it's a lot easier to understand what it's about. Equalism. Everybody should be equal. Between gender, race, sexuality, whether you're transsexual or cissexual or whatever that's called. Like I said, race, whatever, age, everything. Everybody should be equal. I'm not saying like full-out communism, everybody should share everything. No. But everybody should have the ability to get rich. At least that. But whenever you say, oh, I'm not a feminist, because usually I say that because I believe that radical feminists are having way too much control of the group. Which is pretty obvious when you look at all these terms. Like I said, I hear feminists say those constantly. And they're fighting feminism. They're fighting sexism. I mean, it's so hypocritical. But for the last sexist term, all men are the same. Yet another term that women use all the fucking time. And saying all men are the same is moronic. We are not all the same. We are very different. In some cases we are the same, but in a lot of cases women are the same. But yeah, like I said, a lot of feminists are being incredibly sexist. And yes, I know, there are a lot of more sexist men, and there's men saying sexist things. But I think it's a lot worse when you're fighting against sexism and then being sexist yourself. You can't fight fire with fire. If a building is burning and you're trying to torch it again, you're not gonna like create anti-fire and put out the fire that way. No, you're just gonna burn it worse. You can't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. You stop sexism by stop being sexist, and stop being sexist yourself. Before this video, I looked up the definition of sexist, and it's attitudes, conditions, or behaviors that promote stereotyping of social roles based on gender. That's the definition of sexism. However, in a lot of sites, I found the biggest bullshit ever, when it's just obvious that feminists are there changing stuff. The definition of sexist, according to a website, is a man with chauvinistic belief in the inferiority of women. What the fuck is wrong with you people? It's sexist, not misogynist. Sexism is gender neutral. Misogyny is hating women. Misandry is hating men. Those are both examples of sexism. But sexism is not limited to gender. A misogynist is a sexist. But a sexist doesn't have to be a misogynist. A sexist can also be a misandrist. So stop trying to change these things. A sexist is not a man. It's not necessarily a man. It can be a woman too. If you want to fight sexism, then stop being sexist, for fuck's sake. So, after that little nerd rage, subscribe to my... If you like this video, then rate it. Don't forget to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Subscribe if you like my random ass rant videos. There's a new video every Monday and Friday. Don't forget to look me up on Tumblr at NerdyGuyRanting.tumblr.com. And I'm the Nerdy Guy, and you just watched Nerdy Guy Rant. What?